buenas tardes. I have the easiest job this evening because I am speaking in my native language, so everyone else is a much harder job than me. We have a very official referee here with his card, so I'm going to try to be quick, but not so quick that you won't be able to get the translation. I will try to slow it down. Just a couple of words about PMI, Process Management International. And we have been working on business improvement for 26 years now, across the world, in every continent and in a very wide range of organizations, from aerospace on one hand through to, would you believe that we have worked recently in a prison? We have worked in a prison, not been taken to a prison. And the main constituents that enable us to do that across all these different organizations are what I'm going to talk about this evening. Efficiency and effectiveness, I hope that they are two separate words in Spanish. In Danish, there is one word, and we have a Danish client, which means the same thing, and it's very difficult to distinguish between the two words. Efficiency, effectiveness and efficiency are different in English anyway. Efficiency is doing things right. Effectiveness is doing the right things. So they are different. This slide represents PMI's interpretation of Dr. Deming's philosophy of management, given to us many years ago. They're a fundamental way of looking at business or any issue. In our experience, they are very useful insights to any situation, a problem, an emergency, or a development of a new market. It's the same thinking. Always, everything is connected to everything else, which is the system thinking. We must always remember that anything we do may have an effect somewhere else. Variation, which is the purple ball there, everything varies. All processes vary. The more effort we put on reducing variation and making any process targeted onto the customer's requirement, the more efficient we will become, the more predictable we will become. The green theory of knowledge, continual, incessant learning. If we're not learning, we cannot be improving. So that's what is in there. And last but not least, psychology. Everything happens through people. Through people's attitudes, through people's skills, through people's will. And all of those things must come together, we believe. Our practice has been based on this for many years. If you have that way of thinking and that methodology built on those 4 blocks, you will encompass everything. So, we are in difficult economic times. Whilst the fundamentals remain the same in the previous slide, I think it's never been more urgent to understand customers, not only their customers' current needs, but to anticipate the customer's future needs. We work a lot in the Far East. We have good colleagues and friends in China, in Japan, India. And many European companies lament and say, we can't compete because of the low-cost economies, particularly in Eastern Europe and in the Far East. And I accept that some of those perspectives are legitimate. However, I do not think that we have fully utilised our own capacity in Europe. I have been in many, many organisations where they have many of the ingredients to beat the competition on quality of service, on reliability of service, but we do not use what we know. I have more examples than I will share here, but lots of examples of us just not fully understanding the customer. We ask the customer one question and think that that is enough to last for 5 years. I'm not talking about asking customers to tell you something. I'm talking about defining a close relationship with the customer, an intimate relationship with the customer. We need predictability, predictable products and service, to really understand the extra value that the services carry over and above product. What service? We were talking in the car about our vehicles. Some of our German colleagues we were talking, I will not name the vehicle, but I had a very known, well-known German vehicle. I sold it and got rid of it, not because of the quality of the vehicle, but because of the quality of the after-sales service. They would phone me up and ask me questions that were obsolete about my vehicle. It just really infuriated me. It was not the vehicle, it was the service. We must think about the added extra value of service. And we do that by anticipating the needs of our customer and planning the most efficient. We can't simply fulfill every need. We must have good processes, efficient processes, to deliver on that extra value service. Have any of you come across this model before? This is Professor Noriaki Kano's, very famous, been around for some while. Dr. Kano is a good friend and colleague of ours. You can find this on the web if you look for it. This is the Kano model for understanding customer requirements. And you can see the red line there in the expected. So much of what we are expecting as consumers these days is so far in advance of what it was 5 years ago. What was a novelty, what was a fantastically new idea 5 years ago is no longer fantastic or new. It's something that everyone can produce and we expect it. And that's the bottom line there, the curved bottom line. The green line, the one-dimensional wanted, those are the things that a customer can talk to you about. You can say, what kind of service would you like your car to have? And I, as a customer, can say that. Okay? That's important. We can have that conversation. But look at the top left line, the blue. These are needs and wants that the customer does not know they have. You, as the supplier, has to understand and anticipate those. And you cannot do that by just talking to the customer. You have to live in the customer's shoes. You have to experience life as your customer experiences life. Only then will you, knowing what you can do as a provider, can you match what you can do as a provider to the customer's yet unknown needs, latent needs. They're not expressed. You can see the degree of fulfillment against the degree of need. There's more details to this. You can see it. Just put it into Google and you will find this model. You can study it. But the key thing for this evening is to understand that even if you have very high score on the top left, the latent delight, what is now a delight, an unusual, a fantastically value-added extra, next year it will just be a wanted, and the year after that it will be expected. So you must always be ahead of your customer, always anticipating that. And frankly, I don't think we're very good at that in most organisations. And I think that is the one area of untapped resource we need to understand. So, the close ongoing relationships with the customer is very important. We can be more efficient in interpreting those needs and interpreting those into what we can provide. And the methodologies that we have are all there. Process management has been around for a long time. The problem is we don't always do it. We know the concepts, but we don't always apply it. In fact, we spend such a long time thinking about it and not doing it that we never learn anything. So, yes, less waste and so on, dealing with customers, fewer complaints, better knowledge. This is a cycle. Better knowledge feeds into more efficient operations. And then service is a differentiator. And at the same time, your costs will reduce. Customers become more loyal and business more profitable. So, if you are really wanting to get that competitive edge, don't just look at problems. Don't just look at lean. That's all essential, but it's not enough. You have to have the extra things. It needs to encompass everyday work, not just for a project, but the way we do our work, and it must involve everyone in the business. It's about behaviours, values, it's about the culture and the way of thinking. And I believe that only if we take that holistic view can you guarantee that you're both effective, you know, you're on target to what the customers are wanting and needing in the future, that you can be efficient, adaptable to the changing needs of the market, and agile when there is a problem, being able to hold those good processes and apply them to other things. And that, we believe, is the key to winning the hearts of the customer. Because without your customer's heart, you're always looking at a better price, a lower cost. And that's not what the market that we should be. And I think that's it before he puts the red card up. Is that correct? Senor? Yes? Thank you.